Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is August 2nd, 2017, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the markets and look at the economic news for the day. We've got two major numbers coming out today. 10:30 South African time, GBP Construction PMI number that's coming out. It's an important number. Let's see how it actually plays out. And then at 4:30 South African time, it's our weekly oil inventories number. And we had a big sell-off yesterday in oil, so we'll look at that as well. Just keep a note, this Friday is NFP. That is a major number as we're heading into the second half of the year. Okay, so we're almost there. We're almost halfway through the year. So keep that in mind as we're going to be looking at that as well. Let's see what's been happening in the markets though. We're going to start our here with the EURUSD. EURUSD like a rocket. It's not even coming in for you to be able to buy it on the pullback. Just a tremendous rally. I mean, just to keep you in sight of how far we've gone from 106 to 118 in a matter of 4 months. I mean, really, that's unprecedented. From April until the end of July, we've gone over 1,400 pips, which is unbelievable. It's very reminiscent of the correction that we had a few years ago, obviously, when we, tanked from 138 down to 106. And now we're making that correction, and it's not even giving us an opportunity to actually, start buying it in the pullbacks. It's just taking off, which kind of lends itself to saying that this thing may end up at 125, 130 before the end of the year. Now, before we celebrate that and before we, continue just thinking buy, just keep an eye on this as, this thing may turn at any moment. So just be cautious with the pullbacks. But, with the NFP report coming out on Friday, and this is going hand in hand with the Dow Jones. Let's look at that as well, with the Dow Jones making all-time highs, 21,948. I mean, I can't stress this enough. I mean, this is really unbelievable what's happened since Donald Trump has taken office. It might not be completely because of his contribution, but it is going up tremendously. We're over 20 points in the Dow Jones since the beginning of his presidency. We were trading at 19,000, 18,000-ish level during his presidency just a year ago, and now we're at almost 22,000. So that's really unprecedented. That's something you have to take into consideration and look at it. So looking at this, it's really hard to say when and where we're going to have a pullback. I mean, it doesn't really lend itself to having a pullback. So take that into consideration. I mean, just to highlight this factor to you, we were trading at about 17,400 and we're at 22,000 right here. That's over a 5,000 basis point move for the Dow Jones. It's trading at 22,000. So that's actually over a 20% return. That's closer to a 30% return over a matter of 8 months, which is unprecedented. That's really amazing. So, the continuation is still an up move. There's no real, we're in uncharted territory up here. There's really no, there's no pullback to say, okay, this would be a good pullback number. It's just every time it seems like it's going to retrace, it goes up higher. The fundamental stocks in the United States are doing well. Boeing, across the board, the banks are doing really well. The credit cards are doing really well. The conglomerates are doing really well. Not to mention the technology stocks that are doing really well. So things are changing in the United States, and obviously the market is just pushing up higher. Let's look at some of the other markets as well. GBP USD also getting up there, but a little bit slightly not as strong as the Euro USD, as we see that, this is my go-to when there's a sell-off. So if you do sense, okay, or smell a sell-off starting, I would usually go to the GBP USD to sell off. Looking at the Aussie USD, has sold off a little bit, making this double top at this 0.80. Might be a good point to actually, sell this a little bit in the anticipation of somewhat of a retracement of a correctional move. I mean, we can head back to 77, but again, just be careful on the upside as well. Looking at gold, retracing a little bit here. We hit 170 yesterday, as you can see, but 172-ish, and we're retracing to 1266. As well here, I would say there is we're right in the middle of this correctional move. We have support level at 1261, 1255 is my lower support level. So let's see if this continues its rally back to the 1300 level. Looking at oil, as we mentioned before, and crude inventories coming out later today, trading at $48 a barrel. Okay, a nice retracement from 50 bucks. Okay, that's usually a nice resistance level. Here we have it at 49.93, but you can move it up a little bit. But that's that's really within reason for a nice retracement. So let's see how the inventories actually come out today. Remember, you have this resistance at $50 a barrel and support at $47 a barrel. So let's see how that actually unfolds. Looking at the JSC as well, all-time highs, close to all-time highs, excuse me, trading at 49,020. All-time highs at 49,300-ish level, and we're closing in on that. So things in South Africa are also very strong. The markets are, the equity markets, corporations are doing well, and we see a nice expansion. So let's keep an eye on this to see if it does break higher, if it goes to maybe even 50,000 before the end of the year. Now we're heading into a bearish season, so I'm not going to be overwhelmingly bullish, but I am still thinking upwards. Okay, I haven't, there's nothing to really, change my course to think downwards yet. This is Razak at CM Trading. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.